Hey YouTube, it's Felice HD. I am back again. We are here for the recap of Black Lightning season 3, episode 4. And what a season so far. I'm telling you. I am tuning in for the recap from the CW app, which I personally love and prefer. Um I have episode 4 queued up, starting with Dr. Stewart's meltdown, and where she exposes us, the audience, to the fact that she is giving herself micro doses of green light and she is pushing herself to the limit. Uh it's I have mixed emotions about that entire scene and the fact that this is even happening. Simply because I can only imagine if she's been able to accomplish so much so far just off of sheer intelligence and just her own abilities, that I have no idea what she'll be able to accomplish using green light. But it's so risky. I just they haven't figured everything out yet, and it's still very experimental, and so many people have suffered at the hands of green light that I just really don't think that it's wise for her to even tamper with. um that We'll see how it pans out. I just hope it's not something that costs Dr. Stewart way more than it's even worth, because she's clearly hooked and she's clearly wired for sound behind all of this pushing of herself that she's doing to get to the bottom of this entire meta situation that she is so engulfed with. Um, that scene from the ASA headquarters where she looks as though she's kind of video journaling, vlogging, maybe something like that. She looks like she's doing a video and recording her progress. It transitions to the ride to school with Jefferson and Jennifer. And the ASA soldiers are at a checkpoint, and they are really over the top. They're laying civilians down. They're arresting people. There's all different types of hostility in the air. Um, it's not what we're accustomed to seeing environmentally in Freeland. And so it's clearly shocking to us as the audience, but it appears to even be shocking to Jefferson, because Jennifer does seem a little bit more acclimated because, she's been kind of navigating it so far. But with Jefferson being in the ASA headquarters and being isolated from the common streets of Freeland, I don't think he's had as much exposure to how bad things have gotten there. And so he gets a crash course in that on his way to school. He stopped at a coffee house, and Gamby is there's the new face of Gamby. He has a cloaking device that has turned him into appears to be a younger version of him, and just so he can meet with Jefferson and not be discovered in his normal face. So he's sitting down, attempting to have a conversation with Jefferson. Um, they're dealing with stuff here. They're talking about how things are going between Jefferson and Lynn, which we already know. There's a lot of weird energy between those two right now. I am going to say this one good time. I don't like Agent Odell. Jennifer's like, look, as you're the head honcho around here, why don't you just put a stop to this mess? She doesn't believe his motivation for doing any of it. She thinks that she's like, you all are censoring the internet here. I mean, it's just a lot. So he's giving her some other instances of when environmental threats have basically taking a turn for the worse. And he offers to give her a link where she can see firsthand what kind of devastation could be pending for Freeland and why he is so on board with taking such extreme measures at this point. I don't agree. I don't agree. And the only thing I would say is because he's breached the trust of the audience already just by lying about what happened to Khalil's mom. I mean, that was enough for everybody. To really just anybody that did ever have any type of trust factor with Agent Odell is already kind of checked out on what he has to offer now because he doesn't appear to be trustworthy. He never did, in my opinion, but he really is. He's up to no good. We just haven't 100% discovered what his end game is. Tobias did make a valiant effort to try to dry snitch on him when he was meeting with Issa, but that didn't end well for Issa. That didn't necessarily get, didn't really get Agent Odell out of the picture. That just kind of, that kind of put Issa in a compromising position. Because then now, even though he went there for one purpose, now he kind of knows too much. It looks like everything is returning with Miss Clapback News. She's in the school recording the fact that they have these armed officers, Jamila Olsen, I'm sorry. She's talking about the occupation. The kids are being tested for the ASA mandated cards. So they've already determined that those who okay, so that's what we learned, that Brandon is saying he already has his card. They're saying that the kids that do not test for metas are able to move freely, throughout the town, but those that do test positive will have to go to the meta camp to get more testing. So we transition to headquarters where Agent Odell gives Painkiller the instructions to basically get to the bottom of, well, I don't want to say, I'll use his terminology, exterminate whoever is misusing the trucks. Okay, they don't know what the story is with it, but Agent Odell has discovered that there's some shenanigans going on with the fleet. So he's tasked uh Painkiller with getting to the bottom of it. We go back to the school where Jefferson Pierce is having a really weird exchange with Jennifer at this point. I don't think they're really vibing. She's like, "Do you like the ASA or no? Or what side are you on here?" I don't think that's a weird question for anybody to ask at this point. I think it's I think it's becoming the kind of environment where you have to question everybody's values and views and where they stand because it's becoming an us or them environment more and more with each episode. You really do have a difficult time kind of understanding who's playing for what side as the episodes continue. So um I don't think she was judging him. I think she was just more so saying, let's make it painfully obvious whichever way you stand, let's make it obvious to me, to everybody, because the back and forth is I ain't going back and forth with these like now Jefferson has to deal with the principal because he was headed to class for the to return to class, and the principal says, you know what, you just got a cushy counseling job, so you're going to be making more and doing less. And it's really kind of odd to me, but you must have did a bang up job for the ASA because they have reassigned you. I don't like this Khalil. Ugh, he's so grim. Handsome nonetheless. He's very mwah with it. I love this. Now that I will say, in terms of his appearance, the character, the haircut, the outfits, you know what I mean? It's much more mwah than Khalil because I wasn't feeling the promoter dreads either. but his demeanor, his character is so ugh. He's grim. He's grim. Now, if you gotta go, if your number gonna get called and it's your time to go, I mean, Lord Jesus, it's not the last person to see. It's not a bad view of the last person that you ever gonna see. But it's just, oh, he's just so dark now. His character is so dark now. And I just really want for him to kind of return back to that sort of upbeat, uplifting, Khalil side. I think that those days may be over. We may have to rewatch season 1 just to get your dose of Khalil, because I think Painkiller is here to stay. Especially since he is doing a bang up job of every assignment that Agent Odell has given him so far. So um I think we will get glimpses into how he's going to evolve as Painkiller, but I don't think we're going to see any more of Khalil. So he's made his way to the convoy, and he's kind of getting to the bottom of what's going on, but it's not going to end well for this guy. It looks like he's filled him with toxins, one of the guys. Now Jefferson is trying to get here with Agent Odell. Like, what's going on? Why do you have these people? Why do you have these troops walk in the halls of the high school? Okay, so Jefferson thinks the occupation is overkill, and Odell is not with the shits. He don't want to hear nothing. He straight rolled the window up on Jefferson, like, all right, cool, feel how you want to feel, but guess what? Like it or love it. I don't think Agent Odell is going to lift a finger to accommodate Jefferson any more than necessary. My personal perspective. I don't think he's 100% a fan of Jefferson. I think he probably will go around him any way that he can, and that's obvious because he's trying to bridge the gap with Lynn. He's trying to bridge the gap with Jennifer. He knows he's not getting anywhere with Anissa because Anissa is just unbothered when it comes to Agent Odell. But we're forward into the precinct now because Chief Henderson is sitting there with his wife. They're kind of bonding and having a kumbaya moment. And here comes the ASA marching in with their fuck shit. You already know they're getting ready to take it too far. So now the ASA is taking over the station. Mm. Agent Odell they changed up the whole format and didn't even bother to tell Chief Henderson. So they're looking for a clean camp for the Metas now. So now they're going to take over the precinct. Chief Henderson has to clear out his office at a moment's notice. He doesn't seem to be thrilled about that at all. He's unbothered at this point. He's like, whatever. Um, Gamby, in his new face, is painting the tires of the ASA. So this has that resin on it that they can track. He's going to try to see if they can figure out where the pit is on the map, because this is some big secret undisclosed location so far. So Gamby's trying to get to the bottom of where the pit is, so if need be, they can pull up. Jennifer successfully gets the link from Agent Odell, and she gets to really see this horror situation that he has described. She gets to see it firsthand, and she's breaking down as a result of it. It's too much for her. Now we transition now to Lynn at the ASA headquarters. She's working on a meta gentleman that has come down with the virus, and she's been able to stabilize him. She gave him the no, she's going to be able to stabilize him. He's not doing well, but she's going to get to the bottom of what's going on with him and coaching him right now. She hasn't figured out what needs to happen for him, but she's coaching him right now because she's actually Blackbird is checking some of the resistance. There's a lady there that then shot up a distance. There's a lady there that then shot up a checkpoint, and she's just like, look, leave me out of it if you're gonna be out here shooting up checkpoints and carrying on, because I can't. Jefferson has stopped by Anissa's house and he sees her tricked out apartment. He meets Grace. Um, he's having a talk with her about the fact that Grace even knows she has that Anissa has powers, and he actually witnesses Grace in a shapeshift. So now he understands that they've bonded over powers. She hasn't. She's not a human. He's like, what the hell is going on? Anissa is like, okay, you're triggering her, all right? And I'm really over this entire conversation altogether. So let's just not do this. Why don't you just hit the bricks? This is a new face for Anissa because I think she has the utmost respect for Jefferson, but right now she's asserting herself as a grown ass woman. And she's like, okay, daddy, I know that you head honcho, you run shit. I understand. But guess what? This is my domain. I'm doing things like I want to do it. Let me live a little bit. And he's gonna have to really start treating things with her like she's an adult because she's not here for any of it. Like she's not hearing the warnings that he's giving her as far as the whole situation with Blackbird, or the risk that she's taking. She's not hearing the fact that she's taking some of this money to not gonna be hearing anything he has to say about Grace whatsoever. Um and then the whole situation as far as, how they're going to proceed, I think it's going to be one of those situations where they're going to have to take one day at a time because they're both kind of getting into, the new dynamic that is their relationship, that is their new bond. Um, Anissa's still coming into her powers. She's still kind of learning, the best way to manage them. And she's managed to kind of get her dad out of the equation right now so she can focus on Grace and really trying to figure out if Grace is okay because she doesn't appear to be okay. She had a meltdown and started shape shifting and everything. So she's kind of ran for cover, and Anissa's coming up there to check on her. Grace she got a hectic home life. I don't really think that Grace is really here for any of that back and forth that was going on between Anissa and Jefferson. It seemed like it upset her really bad. And so she knows now that Anissa knows about all of her past and everything, and they really had a heart to heart and kind of bonded over, I know the situation is kind of weird and it's trying and everything, but we're just gonna take one step at a time and see, if we can get through this together. So it was really kind of refreshing to see that because up until now, Anissa's really kind of been a loner. I mean, she's had different affiliations, but I think Grace is probably the first person that she's really, this is her first time really letting someone in an intimate way. Um, we're transitioning to Lynn and Jefferson. They're having a conversation. His voice is slurring to her. So I think that the green light is taking a toll. Oh, what's going to happen with the exchange between Lynn and Jefferson because it doesn't really appear. Oh, I don't know what's going to happen with the exchange between Lynn and Jefferson because it doesn't really appear that Lynn is really 100% involved in him. Like, yeah, okay, whatever. And just enough to just kind of get him, moving on to something else, and out of her face. I think she's afraid that if she spends too much time interacting with him or closely with him, he's gonna pick up on the fact that, you know, the lights are on but no one's home. Um, Painkiller has letting these two know that okay, of the four trucks, you guys have been on them, and so whatever it is that you're up to, I don't have to kill you today, but I will find you, torture you for a year before I kill you. This is the promise that Painkiller makes to these two people. These guys have no idea who they're dealing with. I sincerely hope that they adhere to that warning or it's not going to be good for them. He's really calloused and calculated now in his approach to things. So I don't think it would bother him at all whether they live or die. So hopefully they're going to pick up on that. The transition now is this who this conversation in the classroom is getting so heated between Jennifer, her colleagues, when the ASA comes in, and they only kind of goes from bad to worse. The conversation was already pretty deep. It was a deep exchange. It was very heated. It was one that was a classroom environment, control of the classroom, because the kids were getting really. So I was really surprised that the educator didn't think that it was already taking kind of a wild turn. I wasn't 100% comfortable with it. I'm not gonna lie. I just thought that it was a lot for youth their age to even be confronting, much less to really have such strong thoughts and beliefs about it. So we transition now to Brandon, Jennifer, and her buddy. They're in a bathroom, and it looks like they're smoking out, and they're kind of having a cipher, so to speak. And they're like, and Brandon is like, somebody dropped to see something, say something on him, and they're definitely debating. They're debating on a high level about not only what just happened in their school, but what's happening in Freeland and what's happening globally. Um, it's refreshing to see youth be so insightful, but at the same time, it's really kind of tragic. Their youth and their innocence and their lifestyle is being so impacted by the changes in Freeland that it's pretty much they're wearing it on their forehead. It's like they have to constantly think about it. They have to constantly revisit it. It's being, shoved down their throat, so to speak. We transition to um, Dr. Stewart has been successful in um, providing a treatment for the elderly guy, the meta. He wanted to walk. He was saying he wanted to walk his daughter down the aisle, and so now she's like, "It looks like you're going to be able to do that." Oh, she's so sweet. Um, I like that Dr. Stewart is pushing herself to really help people. So she does have a good end game in mind, but she's really teetering on an unsafe amount of effort that she's putting forth because she's wearing herself down. She's wearing herself thin. And I'm hoping that at some point she will begin to focus on her own self care because working around the clock like that and constantly just focusing on everything that she's doing with the ASA so much, it's wearing on her. It's wearing her thin, and it's really having a detrimental impact on her relationship. So we transition now to the underlayer. Gamby has given this ASA suit that Agent Odell gave Black Lightning in the watch. He's given that suit the once over. It's like, yeah, it was a tracking device in it, but guess what? The suit is gangster otherwise, so you might want to go ahead. But who knows? I wouldn't put it past him. I think he was able to kind of disable the tracking device or tracking features. But who knows? Who knows what other trickery Agent Odell has woven into that suit? And if I was Black Lightning, I wouldn't trust it. And then just like with Gamby, I wouldn't trust it because. So now we're transitioning back to Anissa's apartment, and Jefferson has revisited this entire conversation again. He Anissa is telling Jefferson that we have an Underground Road situation. Um, Me, Reverend Hall, Uncle Gang. He's like, all these years we've been calling you Harriet Tubman. I guess now when they finally sunk in. I don't. So now Chief Henderson is giving the guys that got locked up in the thing, he giving them a hard time But he didn't let them sneak, let Black Lightning sneak in. So they're gonna try to come in and free some of the metas from the camp and see how that goes. Agent Henderson left the door unlocked. So Gamby is looking from the outside in from another location, and they're coming in now. They're coming in to it's Black Lightning and Thunder. They in there. They mm. Black Lightning zapped the mess out of them ASA people. He like, get out of here. We got this. So Anissa and Black Lightning have freed all of the metas that were captured and in the precinct with the assistance of Chief Henderson. So they're getting ready to start their journey on the Underground Railroad. And this is going to take them to Reverend Halt, and then they're going to stabilize them there so they can get ready for their travel to this undisclosed location, which we know is the Purdy. Okay. And they're going to hide out there until, hopefully, until the occupation and wait out the occupation. That's the goal, is for them to kind of have somewhere humane to kind of lay low until all of this blows over. I mean, it's a genius idea. I just don't know how realistic and how sustainable it is because, each day more and more people are being identified, more and more people are being targeted. And like you saw with Tavon, he wasn't even identified as Meta, but because he was suspected as being identified as Meta, they grabbed him up, put him in a camp too. He actually had documentation that said he wasn't Meta, and it didn't matter. So who knows? I think we have yet to see everything that's going to unfold this season. I think they're really just kind of setting up and laying the foundation for all of this wild activity that's going to play out. I mean, like, I just don't even know what we're going to see this season because everyone else is just, they're just on a whole different page, you know? Anissa has gone from really kind of being the sidekick of Black Lightning to kind of being her own endeavors. I think that's major, especially just have it happen kind of overnight like this. Um, they're showing some of the bad guys. They have they're getting ready to have an interaction with Painkiller. They don't realize it yet, but he is rapidly approaching. I believe this is ooh, Sinzel. Yeah, he's taking Sinzel to the house. I don't really oof. He said they don't call me when they want someone arrested. They call me when they want someone gone. So what do you think is really going on here? So we transition now from Painkiller really getting it cracking to Anissa is now giving the group instructions of where they need to locate to. Agent Odell has popped up again. He's at the Pierce home. He's giving Jefferson the warning. Where were you? So that wasn't you that broke into the precinct. Well, this is your one pass. Everybody need 5 minutes. Everybody gets a pass. This was yours. Don't make a habit of it because I'm getting tired. So Dr. Stewart is updating Agent Odell. She's telling him that she's been able to get the this is okay, so she's letting him know that she was able to cure the issue that was going on with the metas, but now they're exposing how they have orchestrated Dr. Stewart getting hooked on green light. They've been flashing take green light on her screen subliminally. They actually put remnants of green light around the rim of her wine glass when they gave them the new suite. Um, it's distorted and it's really disturbing. The things that I'm starting to see are making it very difficult for me to believe that Agent Odell even has a decent bone in his body. He's a scumbag, and I am so tired of his mayhem. He's meeting behind what looks to be like some sort of warehouse or something. He's meeting Jennifer, and I think he kind of drew Jennifer in with that video. Um, she has her suit now, and this is actually one of the best scenes that I've seen of her yet. It gave me a Phoenix tea, how the Phoenix comes up and kind of evolves fully. I don't know, like it was a very surreal moment. I loved it. I thought it was beautiful, and I thought it was really her opportunity to shine. She's going to have a certain amount of loyalty to Agent Odell simply for allowing and facilitating that experience. Just because she's had so many obstacles surrounding her powers so far, so many people have tried to keep her powers under wraps and tried to minimize and dim her light for one reason or another, just by simply giving her free reign and just saying, you know what, go up as high as you can, shine as bright as you can. I think he's gaining confidence with her just by making that happen, just by letting her know that she can do that. She's going to have a certain level of respect for him from here on out, just for that. I don't like the idea that he's trying to gain her good side like that, because he is so tricky and he is so deceptive. And I think that it's if she does allow him to sort of enter into her circle in that way, she's going to regret it. Definitely. We're For those of you that haven't checked it out yet, I did the season 3, episode 5 first. So from now on, we're going to be moving forward. We're going to move forward with episode 6 next week, and we're going to start on Tuesday. I'm going to view it from the CW app, and I am going to do this review live. Okay, so I'm going to watch it with you. All right, so I'm super excited about that, and I can't wait. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, peace and blessings.